A review of Bruce Dickinson's album, The Mandrake Project. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. A couple of my favorite YouTubers, including Scott at No Solution, have been talking about and recommending the new album by Bruce Dickinson. And I'm not a big heavy metal listener. I used to be when I was young. I saw Iron Maiden in concert a few times, but since then I've really not listened to their music much, and I certainly have never heard a Bruce Dickinson solo album. And I figured that that is something that should change, and so when he had a new album out, I figured that would be a good jumping on point. The reason I'm telling you all of this is because I wanted you to have some background as to why I'm reviewing this and how I'm approaching this. So I'm going to go song by song, and I'm going to rate each song, and I'm also going to give you a clip to listen to in case you haven't heard this album. Hopefully this will give you some insight into the album to let you know, should you listen to the entire album, or is there a couple of songs which I'm going to recommend that you listen to and put into a playlist. The first song is called Afterglow of Ragnarok. It has a really cool opening, very kind of doomy, death metal doomy, although you should go to see Kim at This Is Music if you really want all of the genres broken down, but to me it sounds doom metal.
Eyes of creatures follow me.
I give this song a 3 out of 5, although it definitely is a great opening to the album. The second song is called Many Doors to Hell, and I also felt that this was a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed Rain on the Graves more. I gave this song a 4 out of 5. It has an almost spoken intro. It's like I'm being told a story. And then when he starts singing in his high-pitched voice, it really makes a great contrast. And for that reason, I upped the ante and gave this a 4 out of 5.
The raindrops spattered on the tomb from grey and leaden skies. Deny me once, deny me twice. Don't look in my eyes.
Song number 4, I also gave 4 out of 5. It's called Resurrection Man. The beginning of this song, the only time on this album where I felt the vocals were strained. However, later in the song, it changes into what sounds to me like a song right out of Black Sabbath's first album, and for that, I definitely had to increase the points. The fifth song is called Fingers in the Wounds. And again, I gave this one a 3 out of 5.
Take a pearl from an oyster and feed it to swine.
So we are halfway through the album, and so far, it's just okay. Mostly 3s, a couple 4s out of 5s. But then we get to the sixth song, and this is where it changes. The sixth song is called Eternity Has Failed. This is where Bruce really shows off his voice. He is singing almost a cappella at the beginning. There's some kind of new agey sounds going on in the background, which sounds like it might be bad, but for me it's not.
Clothed in white, stand in the light. Here is the soul of a man.
And now, listen to him hold this note. It's fabulous.
Who's your man?
It also doesn't hurt that this has a really nice riff. So this song earns the first 5 out of 5. Eternity Has Failed is definitely a song that you should listen to and put into a playlist. It's a keeper. The seventh song is called Mistress of Mercy, and this song is fun. I gave it 4 out of 5. This one to me sounds the most Iron Maiden-y of all the songs, and for that, I appreciated it. Song number 8 is my favorite song on the album. It's called Face in the Mirror. This is the song that I would find myself singing after the album was over. The chorus is so catchy, and it's funny because this is a very mature message. A lot of the songs have a fantasy or doom metal, just typical metal lyrics. But this one can be interpreted as a person looking back on their life as they're aging, seeing all the changes in their faces and not really appreciating it. This has kind of a dark and dour message, but this would be the one that I would sing along with and be repeating later. So it was kind of an interesting contrast. So again, I gave this song a 5 out of 5.
It's a crying shame. Look at your face. Look at your face. Look at your face.
Now, the next two songs on the album, I could take or leave. So to me, the album doesn't end on a high note. The ninth song is called Shadow of the Gods, and it's very ballady, which isn't bad, but it doesn't stand out like some of the other tracks do. I gave it 3 out of 5. And the last song on the album, which is called Sonata, Immortal Beloved, I gave this a 3 out of 5, but I almost gave it a 2. But I had to go back and judge the song on its own merits. I wanted to give it a 2 just because I wanted the album to end on something memorable. But for me, it just ended average. Not to say that these are bad songs at the end, but they just don't stand out.
Save me now.
So the two keepers for me on this album are track 6, Eternity Has Failed, for his vocal prowess and a catchy riff, and number 8, which is the best track on this album for me, Face in the Mirror, which I guarantee you'll be singing along to that track, and you'll be remembering that chorus and riff after the album is over. I have to say that breaking this down like this was a different experience than listening to the album as a whole. Putting it on and listening to it all the way through, I enjoyed the experience. In fact, I listened to this album at least 20 times, and I was never really bored with it until the last couple of tracks. It was a fun experience, and this album grew on me. Having to dissect the album and take it apart track by track, I did find more weaker parts, but when you listen to it all the way through, you probably won't think of many of the weaknesses that I had to find as I was going track by track. This album does flow. It is nice to listen to overall, and I would give this album a 4 out of 5. This is definitely a great way for me to jump back into Bruce Dickinson's career, and I'm so happy that a lot of YouTubers out there are mentioning this album, so that I felt the need to go ahead and not only listen to it, but review it. So what did you think of my review? Have you heard this album, and do you disagree with some of the tracks that I found a little bit lacking? Do you agree with the 2 picks that I would recommend for someone to put immediately into a playlist and listen to? Which again, it's track 6 and track 8. All comments are welcome. I want to thank all of you out there for the support.